Perfect. Okay, so any questions, start off, any questions you may have, if you put it in the chat box for me, please. And at the end, we'll get to questions, we'll answer as many as we can. So any questions throughout the presentation, if you hear anything that makes you think, oh, I need to ask a question about this, please just put it in the chat box. You can either send it to everybody or just put it directly to myself, Celine, and I'll make sure your questions get answered. Bear with me 2 seconds. Oh, okay. So we're gonna make. Oh, can everyone turn on their cameras if they don't mind? Just like to see everybody. And what before we get started fully, does anyone want to just introduce themselves? Let us know where you are in the world, in England.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Maria. I'm from London.
Hi, Maria. Nice to meet you. East, north, west, or south?
North London,
Oh,
Southgate.
oh, nice. Nice to meet you, Maria. I'm from
Lovely to
East London myself. Anybody
nice.
else?
Yeah. My name's Carol and I'm from Southeast London.
Hiya, Carol.
Hi.
I'm Emily. I'm from Thurrock area in Essex.
Oh, hi. Was just
Oh,
there the other
hi.
day at Costco's.
Hey, long queue they, I bet.
No, actually, surprisingly, compared to the North London one, I was quite pleasantly surprised. It might be my new one to go
Good
to.
timing.
Anyone else want to quick say hello?
Hi, I'm Naruka, and
Hi,
I'm from
Naruka.
I'm from Leeds, West Yorkshire.
Oh, nice. Up north, lass. Nice to meet
Hi
you.
everyone.
Thank you.
Hiya.
Hi, my name is Elizabeth, and I'm from Milton Keynes.
Hi, Elizabeth.
Hi, Elizabeth.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Dorothy, and I'm from London.
Hi, Dorothy. Well, good evening to you all. So I'm going to start off by just giving a little introduction to our host. Some of you may know her, some of you may not. Our host today is Sapphire Gray. She's an award-winning property investment and business coach expert for women with over 25 years experience in this field. Sapphire started her career as a finance broker and later transitioned into property and investment business coach. Sapphire has personally won over 19 certificates qualification has won over 14 awards. These are just a few that she's won. American Premier Expert Award for Content of Consumer and Journalists, National Academy of Best-Selling Authors, B Mogul, one of the most influential and inspirational Black entrepreneurs in Britain today, Top 50 Business Consultant Enterprise Nation Leadership Award, Top 50 Influential African and Afro-Caribbean Leaders in the UK in 2018. She's also a best-selling author. Sophia wants to be able to support women to build an investment portfolio so they can create a legacy for their family and at the same time become financially free, to have positive cash flow for when they're ready to retire. The results they have achieved the results they have achieved have been amazing. Was responsible for building many of her clients' portfolios to the value of over 3.5 million each, and the company survived economic booms and busts. So, without a moment to lose, I'm going to hand you over to Sapphire Gray.
I've had my camera on. Good evening, ladies. Welcome to tonight's presentation. I hope you're looking forward to it. Seems like my camera's gone funny for some reason. Not sure why. All right, there we are. I'm in focus now. Even though I've got glasses on, I was out of focus for a minute. I want to say Happy New Year because I haven't seen you lot for a while, some of you, and some of you are new. And then my ladies that are on the academy already, welcome. I really am. I've got a jam-packed evening for you today. I hope you're going to enjoy the presentation. And any questions you may have, please put them in the chat. And we'll get to answering them later for you. So without further ado, I'm going to share my screen. Let's just go to this. And please also go to our Facebook, our Twitter, Instagram, and use our handles share your comments. Just say hashtag at a live event with Sapphire and the Swaya Academy would be much appreciated. So let's get going. So welcome, ladies, to the How to Profit from Properties and Have a Financial Security for Your Family. As I said, tonight is going to be jam-packed, so I really want you to get the benefits. I hope everyone was able to download their free gift, their blueprint, so that they can follow along, but I don't want you to be distracted with it. So if you can just download it and just follow me, and then afterwards take copious notes. So I hope you all got your notepads and pens, because it's going to be a lot of writing to do. I hope not too overwhelming though. So here we go. Does this sound like you? Why are some women property investors able to create a plan of action while others are baffled where to start? Or why do some have a solid property strategy while others are overwhelmed with information overload? Or is this you? Why are some people able to implement their strategies while others are confused on the strategy that's best suited to them? If these are any of what you're feeling at the moment or have felt, you know, it is easy to feel this way. But tonight I'm going to take you through a process where hopefully we can demystify this. So tonight is all about you. In this free webinar, I will be sharing with you the 8 key steps into becoming a savvy woman property investor and how to profit from properties by answering the 3 key questions that I asked just a minute. So to get more clarity on what is the best strategy that would suit you. Pause this. I'm sorry, I think I've just messed up the pause button here. Bring this down. Apologies, my screen has just paused. Let's stop sharing for a minute. Apologies. It just froze on me. Can you see my screen now? All right.
Yeah.
Hang on, let me just exit. Sorry. See, this is not my forte, is it? All right. Apologies, ladies. Okay, let's go back. And I'm going to share again. Can you see? Yeah?
It's okay.
Okay. All right. Sorry about that. Again, technology is just not my thing. In this free webinar, I'll be sharing with you the 8 key steps of becoming a savvy woman property investor and how to profit from properties by answering those 3 questions, as I said before, and to get more clarity on the best property strategy that will actually suit you. So I want to formally introduce myself. So hi, I'm Sapphire Gray. I'm a proud mother of 4 girls and a grandmother of 7. Now, some of you may be thinking, well, she doesn't look it. No, I don't. I am young at heart and in age. I'm an entrepreneur, a property investor, consultant, and coach. I'm the creator of the Savvy Women Investors Academy. As my host said, I'm a best-selling author of the New Rules of Success. And I'm the host of the Profit in Properties and have the financial freedom to secure your family and their legacy. So what have I been up to over my journey in business for the last 30 years? So over the last 30 years, as you can see from some of these pictures, I have been a speaker, I have built a property portfolio, I have been a guest, I have won awards, I've done design and renovated properties. So that's what I've been doing and teaching people how to do business, as well as teaching people how to build a property portfolio. So tonight, we're going to be looking at how to profit from properties and have financial security for your family. The 8 key steps of becoming a savvy woman property investor. So welcome again. So you have set aside this time to attend this presentation. So I'd really love for you to turn off all your distractions, your ringers, your Slack, your emails, anything that could basically distract you. I'm not saying to get rid of any of your kids, because we all got those. We can't get rid of them, but at least get away from all the distractions, because at the end, it's going to be worth it. I can assure you of that. We've got questions. If you've got questions, we've got the answers. So please feel free to ask all your questions in the chat, and they will be answered at the end of this presentation. My goal on this webinar is quite simple. It is to help you easily get more clarity on the 8 key steps of becoming a savvy property investor and knowing what the best strategy that suits you. Today, I'll show you the first step by helping you focus on the property strategy and end goals, so you can have a great sense of motivation and a drive to move yourself forward. And that will give you the great opportunity to experience less stress in your property business and your property journey. So are you ready to make this happen? Can I have thumbs up? Can I have yes? Can I have nods? I want to see it all.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. Love that.
Yes.
Thank you. So I want to give a warning here. Before we really get dug into this, my ultimate goal is to teach you the blueprint of the 8 key steps of becoming that savvy woman. And something critically important here, and not paying attention virtually guarantees that your property business will not succeed. So please listen. Right now, you might think you need to have a lot of money to invest in property. But what if you didn't have to have a lot of capital? What if instead you use the capital that you've made once, that you've used once, and reinvest that capital? And that's basically rinse and repeat, reusing the profits that you've gained to build your business. I get this may sound different to what other property gurus might say out there, but I believe in the rinse and repeat method. Buy once and use the equity out of that to buy it again and again. So is this your current reality? There is a fundamental shift, and the number one reason why is that why this blueprint actually works is the fact that it's been tried and tested. I have tried and tested this blueprint, and so has my clients tried and tested this blueprint. And if you take the necessary steps and focus on your property strategy and end goals, it will work for you and work out. Today, you will see how the whole formula comes together and get more clarity on what you want to do for your strategy, because each strategy is different for each individual person. It isn't a one fits all. It comes with its challenges, like maybe you've watched YouTube videos or attended property investment shows. Who on here has watched Homes Under the Hammer and thought, I could do that easily? Or who on here has watched Property Ladder or Location and think, oh, I can do all of that. I know what I'm doing here. I can go out there and I can buy a property and renovate that and get stuck in. A lot of people feel that just by watching a program that they can actually do it. And some have even gone to seminars and paid thousands of pounds and still come out of there confused and even more confused. You wonder, can I really get more clarity on the best property strategy? And for you, yes, you can. So many women property investors have tried the exact same things. We've heard the little voice of doubt in our head, and I'm here to show you it is so possible. That's why this webinar is really going to demystify the process and focus you on the strategy and the end goals, and will save you a lot of time and a lot of money. Sorry, I keep on having this big screen thing in my way. Okay. So here it is. I want you to just follow this simple process. You started by gathering information, maybe on the internet, from magazines or newspapers. Then your eyes started to glaze over, as mine did when I started out. And there's so much to process. it becomes quite daunting. And when you don't know where to start, you know, it's not really, you're not feeling happy, you're not feeling contented. So here's the good news into getting into property investment. It isn't that hard and less confusing than you actually think. But there is a process that you need to follow. And I'm going to take you through that process to make you feel less confused and more able to do what you want to do to becoming a successful investor. If you're new to property investing, following these simple 8 steps will allow you to create your portfolio and be profitable and deliver long-term growth over the years. And if you're a seasoned vet, as I am, it's always a refresher to hear different ways of looking at things. And by just keeping things simple, aligns with you and makes you want to grow more on your portfolio. So building a property strategy framework. I developed this framework for you because I saw so many women investors becoming completely sidetracked. And while trying to get a plan of action, for example, I saw a woman property investor, she was a newbie, trying to get a clear vision on where she was going and what she needed to do. But she thought just plowing money into a property was going to really help her, which it actually didn't. What it did was distract her because she then bought the wrong property in the wrong location and ended up with basically a property that she couldn't even rent out, and she had to put it through the auction to try and at least recoup some of her money. You know, these kind of things will happen. And even with seasoned property investors who are improving their financial results, it often just seems like the systems are not in place. Because if you've got a system in place, that should work. And it's not about just saying, all right, I want to own properties and I don't have a system. It doesn't correlate. So you need to have a system in place. I could really go on and I won't. But I know us women property investors need clarity. And because I'm full transparent, I want to tell you about my story. So life before the plan. Before I outline how to profit from properties and have the financial security for you and your family, using our blueprint, the 8 steps to become a savvy woman, and the specifics of each step, you might be wondering how I got into it myself and figured it out. Well, let me tell you, so you can really understand where I'm coming from. It didn't start when I knew what I wanted. I had to go out and figure it out. I didn't know what strategy I wanted to do. I was all over the place. And I knew I had to create a plan of action to focus on my property business and the strategy that I wanted to implement. Also, I wanted to know what was my end goal. Why was I creating this whole property business? Why was I venturing into it? After all, I was so busy with my other businesses. Why was I actually going to go into doing property now to give myself more of a headache? And to be honest, I had doubters as well. I had family members that didn't believe I could actually do it. I had friends that didn't believe I could do it. And I knew I also needed a lot of help. But where was I going to get the help from? And on top of that, I figured it was going to be really expensive. And I was thinking, well, do I really want to put the amount of money that I need to do it? And if any of this sounds familiar, let me tell you, I know exactly what it was like. It felt exasperating. And I even questioned myself so many times whether I could actually do it. But I was tired, really tired of spinning my wheels, and I knew creating a plan was going to be a benefit to me. And that was what I set out to do. So I set out to find out a way so that I could actually make this happen. And I found that way. So staying focused and growing. Once I got past all of my objections and began investing in myself even, I started seeing a massive growth. I set out to do this and it happened. And I had created my plan of action and implemented it. And it became very successful. So let me focus on the property strategy and the end goals. When is it exactly what is going to happen and going forward? And are you ready for less stress in your property business? You're going to love what's coming up. Everything I'm about to share with you is the exact plan I followed to create my plan of action. And it has led me to experience financial freedom, more importantly, This means you'll experience less stress in your property business as well. And that's what I want for you. I've always wanted this for women. I want women to be successful. Why? I will be sharing that with you later on in this presentation, but I do have a massive why I actually want to do it. All women property investors should want to use this strategy and implement it and get to their target, being financially secure and free from all the debt. So coming up, I'll share how I did it. So step one, start writing, ladies, because we're now going through the stages of how to build out your 8-part property business using this blueprint. And in your workbooks, you will also have this 8-step, and there's questions in there that you need to answer. But I want you to really concentrate on this webinar now, and I will take you through the whole sequence of it. The purpose of the Property Investors Foundation Blueprint using 8 key steps is to help you quickly build a profitable property business so that you can then focus on your strategy, property strategies and end goals. To get started, I've created a simple PDF to help you keep notes and to provide you with more valuable ideas and training. You will have the link in the chat. I hope you've seen it and I hope you've downloaded it. You would have received this, and Celine has added it, as well as Noka has added it to the chat. So refer to it throughout, but please concentrate and add notes afterwards. So as we go through each part of the blueprint, I want you to identify obvious areas of opportunity for your current situation. Are you all ready? Give me a thumbs up or a yes.
Yes.
Yes, I'm ready. Yes, 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 I'm ready.
Yes.
Yes.
Love it.
Yes.
All right, let's get started. So creating your foundation. Creating your foundation is split off into 2. You have to find your root of why you're doing it. So when I've gone through this, I want you to look at this as creating your property foundation, creating your personal plan, creating your property strategies, creating your financial plan, create your legal strategy, create your business plan, create your property portfolio, that's you implementing it now, and create your legacy. Now, I've given you these 8 pointers, and the reason why, because it's a business that you're going to be setting up and running. And you need to formulate every one of these so that your business comes together. So when you go to implement your business, then you know you've got every component in that business right. It's not about being in a hurry or a race with anyone. It's for you to create your personal plan. And it dependent on where you are right now and what you want to achieve. But before we do that, you've got to understand why you are doing it. There's no point in saying, oh, I just want to make a lot of money and I want to go out there and I want to buy a property and it's going to give me this amount of money. That's not a why. What is your reason why? Is it family? Is it financial security for your retirement? Is it alternative investments, charities, alternative businesses? Or do you want to buy a new home? Or are you that luxury lady who just wants to have a luxury car or luxury holiday? But you have to look at the property concepts. Is it high in profits? Grow into it, keeping it simple, minimal stress, or start now, multiply tomorrow? So when you look at creating your foundation, the property concepts and the types of owners that there is, these again are 2 different things. When you're creating your property strategy, you should always consider, do you want high-end profits? So that could be developments, doing wholesale properties. That means buying from an auction and then selling without even doing any work on it. So you're looking at a profit margin there. Flips, so that's buying, renovating and selling. Always buying below market value. Or commercial, or do you want to grow into it? Renting out a room in your home, for instance, or doing a service accommodation, or keeping it simple to single lets or sourcing properties, or start multiplying tomorrow, buy, renovate, rent, refinance, and repeat. This is the BRRRR method. And this is the method that I've know for 2021 is the key method to go into your building out your property. So I'll repeat that. It's buying a property, renovating that property, renting out that property, then you refinance, so you're taking out your equity, and then you repeat. Or is it HMO? Or minimal stress could be control properties, your rent to rents, your rent to SAs, options. There's so many different things that come into it. Some stats why people invest in property or become landlords, they could be a first-time buyer. And statistically, this is about 17%. Or they're a living landlord, that's 1%. Or a landlord who wants to invest in property, this is more higher, this is 41%. Or someone who became a reluctant landlord, it's only about 4% on this. So step 2, creating your personal plan. Start taking a deep dive. And then when I say deep dive, I really want you to be considered here and considerate of you. You've got to look at what your internal problems are. What do you really want for yourself, for your family? On this will, you can see which one comes in, is a priority to you. Is it your children? Is it your significant other? Is it your own personal growth? Is it fun and leisure? And I want you to put these in order of priority, and then you can really work on what is it that you want for yourself. And then I want you to look at the internal problems. What actually keeps you up at night? What stops you from moving yourself forward? What, you know, some nights you could go to bed and you think, oh, I've got money problems, or I've got debts, or the kids I'm not doing enough for my kids, or my partner's not working, or you know, we need to make more money for our retirement, or we haven't. There's lots of things that could be internally grasping you right now that you need to feel, what is it that is happening internally that I can, you know, I'm looking at, and I need to really start setting out a plan to eradicate those. Identifying your knowledge gap as well is key. Where are you now? And where do you want to be? Always identify those two, so you really understand where you are today and where you want to be. And that should be your 2, your 3, your 5, your 10, and your lifetime legacy goals. Now, I got educated a few weeks ago on what a lifetime legacy is. It's a legacy that you pass on, not only setting goals for just temporary for the next 10 years, but it's a continuous legacy, what your grandchildren, your greats, and the beyond where they're going to be. That's leaving a legacy. What does that look like to you? Does that look like a building, like your Harrods or your Selfridges or something like that, that you're leaving behind that carries your name year after year, and saying grandmum whatever, or X or Sapphire, grandmom Sapphire left this building and we're carrying it on down in through our legacy. So I want you to write one thing down for each of these spins and do the reflection on it. And one thing you need to change, and what are you really good at, and what you need to change, and one thing that you need to change. So knowing your personal strategy, which one of these strategies would you personally think is easier to implement? And I'm asking that question. So I want someone to say, one of these strategies do you think is personally to implement? And if you can see the slides, just open your mic and say, what do you think would be easier to implement?
Flipping.
Okay, thank you for sharing that, Charmaine. Anyone else?
HMOs.
HMOs, okay, anyone else? I'm going to take a next one more person.
Council lease.
Sorry, repeat that.
Council lease.
Okay, so the 3 that has been chosen is, I would deem as the flipping will be the most easiest. All of them have their own differences. It depends on who you are as an individual. Now, each of these strategies, I have a HMO, I've done student lets, commercial I've done, development I've done, not on a big scale, service accommodation, council leases I haven't done, supporting housing I haven't done, house flips is my thing. So yes, these are all comes with their own different caveats. If you don't like people, and I say people, your tenants, and you don't want multiple tenants, why would you go into HMO? Because you're going to be dealing with multiple tenants. Yes, the revenue might be good, but the headaches that come with it, can you deal with that? So you've got to ask yourself these kind of questions. So I reckon the 7 components of becoming a successful investor is destiny, a burning desire to start pointing of all your accomplishments and have a purpose, determination, follow through, withstand the ebbs and flows, because there's going to be a lot of that, and be persistent and hardworking. 3, hardworking to achieve massive results, being willing to go the extra mile, always be prepared and stay engaged. Responsibility, you are in control, be accountable for your products and your services. Positivity, have a positive intent. So that's being confidence in being, you know, in what you do. Pride in your performance, take pride in your business, always take pride in your business. 7, being in integrity, stay true to your word, be consistent, treat your associates, it could be JV partners, it could be investors, and your tenants, treat them with respect, because you will definitely double back on that. So strategy 3, creating your property strategy. So this is where we get into the nuts and bolts of it. So these are a list of traditional investments: your buy-to-let, your standard vanilla occupancy house, that's a single one. HMOs, buy to sell, buy below market value and sell after renovation, and you pull up the value. Commercial, rentals, offices, industrial estates, leisure centres, healthcare. Student lets are your universities, holiday lets, alternatives are to they are alternatives to hotels. That's your service accommodation, your bed and breakfast. Off-planning investments as well, purchasing prior to the building actually starting. So these are some of your traditionals, and these are less traditionals. This is what I call the control property market. These are alternatives. So you've got your rent to rent, your rent to HMO, your rent to service accommodation, lease option, peer-to-peer lending, property crowdfunding, property estate trust. There's so many different things you can get into property without actually owning the asset. And this is a group of them. So I want to take you through a simple 3-step process. So this step process is what I call the find, fix, and sell. This is one of the strategies that I have built my business on. So I would find a property on the website, or my sources, or emails that come into me, or people that are working, my associates that work closely with me. I would renovate that property by adding value, because I've bought it below market value. I will probably change out the kitchen, the bathrooms, give it a good decor, and really high spec it, because I like high spec because I get a better return. Then I would sell. I'll put the property on the market once renovated and completed, and stage the property ready for selling. And once sold, hooray! You have completed your first find, fix, and sell. And just repeat it until you have enough money to hold one. So I'm going to repeat that. Repeat it until you have enough money to hold one. Now, if you're doing a JV partnership with someone, you'd always want to sell the asset, so you both can split off your profits and both be able to do your own property journey. So just repeat until you have enough money again to hold one, and then redo the process again. So this is step 4, creating your financial plan. Creating your financial plan. This finance rule shows you the direction in which you should follow to start creating your plan. Getting your money right. Research business accounts. Now, why do I say research business bank accounts? Because not every bank is suited to a property investor. Now, if you join the Savvy Women Investors Academy, you will find that I've given you a list of core banks that you should have your banking facilities with. And the reason why is because some facilities allow you to have pods. And these pods, you can then break off your money in order for you to actually start saving in different areas. But that's for another day. And research saving accounts, because when you're making money, what the last thing, we're not even getting enough money back on our savings anyway. We're not getting a good percentage. But that's why I want you to research it. Research what available finance is for you and create your own personal expense sheet and create your own business expense sheet. They're two separate things. What money do you need to keep the roof over your head? And what money do you need to run your property business? They're two separate entities. So when you're starting out, create these two sheets so you know, all right, I need to make £2,000 to keep the roof over my head and food in the cupboards and dinner on the table. Brilliant. But then how much does it cost you to run your business? Do you need any marketing materials? Do you need a website? All of these things you need to account for when building out your business. 5, creating your legal know-how. When you're creating your legal know-how, it's getting to know your legal knowledge, because when you're creating a business, and especially a property business, there's so much caveats around the legal side of it. Are you going to be setting up as a sole trader, a limited company, or in a trust? Do you understand what a power team is and who would you need to support your business? Do you understand the property terminologies? Because sometimes these terminologies can really trip you up, especially if you're going to auction. I mean, the other day we was looking at an auction property and we went to our solicitor and said, can you look over our property, the legal pack, so that we don't trip ourselves up? And I always recommend that, getting a keen eye to look over it so you don't trip yourself up when it comes to the legal terminologies, because without the knowledge of that, then you could be buying a property and not realize that there's so much fees and caveats behind it and end up with a dud property, or you end up out of pocket because of it. So that is really key. How do you legally protect yourself when you're in business as well? Who do you pay? What do you pay? And how do you pay it? Knowing all of this would really help you. So knowing what to pay. So there's different things that you could put into trust as well. So you've got your parental trust for children, trust and incomes, tax trust and capital gains. You've got your tax trust and inheritance tax. But I want to make a disclaimer here. I'm not a tax advisor. I don't claim to be one. I'm not an accountant. I don't claim to be one. And I'm not a solicitor. I don't claim to be one. What I'm trying to say here is these are the things that I know you need to look at and then ask the professionals. And then we have professionals coming on and speaking all the time about these different areas where you can actually get the benefits of their services and saying, right, what is the best way for me to set up my investment business? So knowing who to pay, again, we've gone through that. And then you've got your types of taxes, capital gains, you've got solicitors. Those are the people that you need to pay, your stamp duties, your survey fees, insurances. And if you're self-employed, you've got the HMRC. Do not forget your government taxes, because they will come for you. They're not nice people when they want to be, only when you owe them money. So make sure you pay that. So there's always a right way and there's always a wrong way of doing something. So when you're looking at building a property business, you've got to understand what is the right way and what is the wrong way of doing it. So when you're creating your property business plan, this is step 6. As I said before, there is what is the right way of doing this. So doing it the wrong way is, you could have the wrong way is the type of property that you are purchasing, the property location. Now, there's a program out there that says location, location, location. It is key for you to make money. Don't just choose a location because it's cheap to buy there. Investigate the location, investigate the street, go down to where, get the demographics of the people in the area. Because I always use this example. If you're going to do single lets to families and you've got families coming in to an area and both houses next door are drug dens, would the family want to rent your property from you? Absolutely not. Or you could have that road is just full of professionals. then would you want a family in a mix of all these professionals? You know, you've got to look at where you're investing in, what houses you're investing in, what's the road looking like? Is it a decent road? What's the crime rates or any rates in that area? And not having enough knowledge is really detrimental. Sometimes people buy property because it's cheap and think, oh yeah, I bought a property, it's 30k. Oh, but hang on a minute, it's going to take me 100k to actually fix up this property. How does that numbers work? It doesn't. And the right way is location. Always buy where it's easy or rent. Capital. Have a backup resource, and remember that you know you've got a 10% overspill in whatever you're outlaying. You've got money to back you up in your capital. Knowledge. Set aside days to get the knowledge to help yourself progress through your business development. Think team. Think about who should be in your team. Is it an accountant you need, a finance broker you need? Who do you need in your team? Think about who you should be in your team. Who should support you as well? If you really want to grow and get it right, who is supporting you? Number 7, create your profit or portfolio. So now this is where you're pulling in from 1 to 6. This is how you then move yourself forward. Could anybody tell me what BLASH means? And it's not hard. It's just Sapphire's acronym of something.
Buy low and sell high.
Ah, you see, there's the star. I'll give you the apple after. Well, you're supposed to give me the apple, so I'll give you a star. Gold star to you. Yes, it is. It's buy low and sell high. Yeah, brilliant. So one thing you must master if you want to buy low and sell high. Now, the one thing you must master if you want to do this is think before you start, and goes towards your first steps of becoming a business woman in property. This is entirely a new way of thinking about investing in property, and I want you to pay close attention to this. I'm also going to share with you how to find below market value properties. And when you know how to do this, you'll know exactly the strategies used to maximize on your profits. The goal is to break free of investing in the wrong properties, as we just talked about. And this way you'll have not to worry anymore about, you know, am I going to buy the wrong property, because you're buying it below market value. So that's already giving you an option, a cushion to make your profit still and maximize on them. So how do you find it? So search on suggested property portals for below market value properties. Now, not all the time are you going to be able to find those on the portals. So I always say also go into your social medias and go to property groups or pages and see if anyone's marketing below market value properties and for a discount. Your discount should be looking around your 15 to 25%. You can get higher depending on who's offering the discounts. So you search on these property portals. Connect also with local agents. Don't forget them. They're your high street. Become friendly with them. Bug them if you have to. Contact them at least once a week and say, hi, you know, how are you doing? Have you got anything for me? And you always share your criteria with them. Make sure you tell them exactly what you're looking for, so they don't send through emails that is just, you know, of something that is of expense and you can't afford it. You want it to be below market value. And when you find the property, make sure that it stacks in numbers. So make sure that you're going to make a profit from it. So don't just look at it and think, oh yeah, this is a really good below market value, but actually, can I actually make any money from it? And also you must build it around your strategy. So don't just go on the internet and think, right, I'm going out there, I'm just going to find a property. Build, when you're searching, build it around what the strategy that you want to build. So for instance, if I'm looking to build out my HMO portfolio, I'm only looking for properties that are 4 bedrooms and above, or 3 bedrooms with 2 reception rooms that I can turn into another bedroom. I'm not looking for a 1-bedroom property. I'm not looking for studio flats. So I would eliminate those. So always make sure that you're looking for the properties to fit your property strategy. So that's your find it. Now you're going to fix it. Sorry. Okay. Now you're going to fix it. When you have closed the property purchase, so you found your property, now it's time to get the property prepared and choose what you're going to be doing with it. Are you going to change the bathroom out? Are you going to do some light decorating? Now Emily's a painter and decorator on here, so she could get loads of business from this if it's like refurb. You know, and look at all those things. How can you add value to it? How can you improve it? How, you know, adding value to something equals profit. Profit then equals in your bank net. So go through all of that and make sure that you're getting the best value for your property when you've fixed it up. Do not overextend or exceed the ceiling price on the road. And what I mean by that, do not buy a property and throw in an extension, a double-story extension, a loft conversion, and thinking, oh, I'm going to get more money if I put that into it. Always convene with an estate agent who says, hey, if I'd done this to this property, what could I potentially make from it? Does that make sense? So don't just go out there buying a property and thinking, all right, I'm going to throw in everything I can on this because it's got the space to do it, because you could break the ceiling price of the road. And then when you break that ceiling price of the road, then you're not at all going to be making any money from it because you've already gone over the required amount that needed to actually go into it. And then you sell it. You put it on the market once you've renovated, completed, and you're ready to sell. And then that's where you'll see your profits come in. So you can do this. I know you can. I mean, I put this slide here and I looked at this bridge myself on this slide and I thought, would I actually walk across this bridge? And I thought, no, I wouldn't. But would I walk across this bridge if I knew at the back end of it, I was going to get a below market value property and I was going to make a ton of money from it? I probably will have my blindfold on, have a guide going across this bridge. But yes, I would do it. I would go across this bridge. But I believe in you. I believe that you also could do this. So women like simple analogies, and I want to give you a simple analogy on how you can actually find, fix, and sell. So we all like shoes, right? Well, I certainly do because I've got hundreds of them. But we all like shoes. As women, we like shoes, and we like going shopping in any case. So when you're deciding to, when I'm going to use this analogy on buying a pair of shoes, I'm going to break it down so it's so easy for you to get it, what I'm trying to say here. So, step one, you decide what on the website you're going to look for your new shoes. You compare the prices, the shape, the size. So I'm a size 8, so I'm looking for a pair of shoes size 8 on the web. You check if there's any discount vouchers, which I do often, and then you purchase at the lowest price. So now you've realized you've found your shoes. Yeah, this is an analogy. So you fix. So your heel breaks. Damn it, I've just broken my heel. Now I've got to go and get it mended. But I'm not going to go to the Thompsons because they're really expensive. So I'm going to compare where I can get my shoes fixed because I want the lowest price. And I compare prices. I get the best value. Then I go to the sell. But I'm not selling it to an estate agent. I'm selling it to my friends and my family. I take my shoes out on the night when the wine bars were once open or the club nights were once open. So I'm taking them out to the world and I'm showing off with my shoes. And I receive all the best compliments. That's my profit. I've received all these compliments. And so now I'm set. I'm happy and I can go and do that again. I can go and shop again because I've got so much compliments from this shoe. I know the color that suited me. That's my strategy. I knew when I fixed it, I got the best fix. I was getting the comments and I made my profit from it. Make sense? Cool. I'm just a shoe lady, really. So I just needed to inject some form of shoes in here somewhere. So maybe this is your current reality as well. Anytime you're trying to buy low and sell high, it's inevitable that you're going to hit the roadblocks. You might have experienced this already. Things like demographic shifts, making the right offer, or even the profit margins. I get that. Well, here's what I know to be true. If any of these sound familiar, it's totally normal. But if you simply accept it at face value, well, you're never going to find a property below market value and sell high. And if I know where you're coming from, I get that it feels like it's out of your hands. You don't even know how to find it or what you're doing. It can become frustrating. Again and again, you're out there trying to do right by yourself. So I'm going to make this easy for you. I'll help you avoid these unusual headaches by showing you a simple step and following the buy low, sell high. After all, it's about creating your legacy. You want to create this legacy. And this is step 8, creating your legacy. Assumption is the mother of all mess ups. Now, there was another assumption slide, and I won't say that because I just thought it was impolitically correct, but it is a total mess up. If you make assumptions, you're going to assume wrong. However, before we go any further, it's important that I bring to your attention that something often gets overlooked and begins to seem like on a practical level. And ignoring it virtually guarantees that you have a tough time trying to buy low and sell high. It's easy to think it's an easy process. This is a dangerous assumption. And this big assumption is why many women property investors are struggling. This is a testimonial from one of my clients, Eva, who was on my coaching program. And I won't go into reading it, just to show that she found her journey, she was making her journey. And I really am proud of her, where she came from and where she's going to be. And Eva's always learning, forever learning. She digs deep into herself. And she also has a young family as well that she has to look after. And that's why I'm proud of her, because she's managed to balance the two to get where she wants to go. But today is all about you, as I said. Are we okay with the time, ladies? Just want to check in. Okay, brilliant. What is the future and desire of your current reality? Anytime you're trying to build a property portfolio, it can be really hard. Because in the very beginning, everything seems so new. It's like, I'm figuring out this, what's my strategy? What should I do? Where should I go find the deals? Everything seems to be whirling around in your mind. And it can become overcomplicated. And on top of that, even if you have experience with investing in property already, you're always looking for that 80-20 rule. You don't have time to waste. So you want to find 20% that's going to produce 80% of the results. So I want to take you through a quick step. So I've shown you what to do, and I want to show you how. All right, so step 1 is about educating yourself. The key to the first step is to research what strategy that you want to do for your business and work this out like other successful women have done, and walk the path of them as well. So don't just think you need to do this on your own in isolation. Find people that have already done it and follow what the process that they've done. Excuse me. Do not be shy. Ask questions, following their steps, and you would then become successful. Step 2, do your research. On average, around 70% of your property performance will be based around where the properties are located. And the key here is the research. It is the core principle. So always make sure you do your research. I'm just going to take a sip of water. Step 3, set a realistic budget. Purchasing your first investment and getting it ready for the rental market, if that's your intention, will involve some of your time and a small financial commitment. The golden rule here is not to underestimate how much resources you are going to need at this step. Set up a saving account called a rainy day pod. and use this and put this aside, and you only use this on the event that something happens within the home, but at least you know you already have that pod available. And this is if you're doing rental properties, because sometimes that cash does come in need. You definitely will need it. Step 4. Purchasing the correct property. Although the location is a critical part in your investment property performance, being the owner of the right property in the location is fundamental. It is important to note here as well that your property should be suitable for your target market. So if it's families, make sure the property is suitable for families. So you wouldn't get a 1-bedroom flat if you wanted a family of 3 to live there. And which you should have previously identified in the research stage. So always make sure that it's correlated. Remember when I said building out your plan? Build out your plan that suits you and your strategy. And I would always suggest concentrating on one strategy at a time till you become that expert in what you're doing. This then allows you to then move on to other strategies. Think before you buy. Now, when I say this, I always say, if you're buying at auction, make sure you read the legal packs, because sometimes there is caveats in there that will trip you up. So always think before you buy. Don't just buy based on price or even location. It depends on the strategy that you're trying to do. Step 6, delegate your work to specialists. So a property investor will always become impractical to take all the investment needs on. Although they may feel that it's unnecessary to hire people, I always believe that hiring the right team around you makes you more productive and brings you more revenue. So hire a property manager if you need it, an accountant, a handyman. It would be more effective to invest in having a team than not, because they'll be able to divert you from making the mistakes. And having a reliable team around you always helps you build your business and become more profitable. Step 7, getting landlord insurance is the most important here, because when you purchase, the first time you purchase a property, you need landlord insurance. And lenders, when you're borrowing money from banks or any financial institution, they want to know that the house that you're buying is covered by insurance in the event that anything happens to it. And it's better to be safe than sorry is the words I always ask people to heed. Never buy any unseen property ever. In a situation where it's impossible for you to see a property, hire an independent specialist to look over the property, make them be your eyes and ears, giving you the security that you're buying a property that is not going to blow down the moment you've actually signed the dotted line that you've now purchased it. And hopefully by following this constantly, you won't buy you won't buy a property without that's not seen, without having someone with their keen eye look over it. This is another testimonial from Anita, and she was on our 2-day property program. She went on to really get the fundamentals for her HMO business, and she went on to do such a good job that she's now financially free. I want to take you through a free property in Liverpool. So this is a property in Liverpool. And the purchase, I'm going to take you through the purchase and the refurbishment costs and why it ended up being free. So the purchase price was 60,000. Borrowed the money from the bank at 45,000. Deposit 15. Solicitors. I'm just going to read solicitors' fees, stamp duties, refurbishment costs, and other associated costs. And that totaled to 60,112. These figures, this disclaimer is just to say that these figures has to be gone through your accountant, make sure that every receipt is accounted for. And then at the back end of it, that's when you know what your net profit is. So the deal basically was broken down into, when we purchased the property in January, we started at spending 60,100. January to March, we've done the refurbishment. Before remortgaging, we received rental income for the HMO. Cost, rental income is 2,585.28 gross. Monthly expenses was 990. Profit per month net was 1,595.28 after cost. We added the value, to the property, and the property was now worth 130. Extension and full renovation, remortgage in 6 months, because you can only remortgage unless it's on a bridge or you bought it cash. April to June, profit from rent was 4,785. Remortgaged again, June. 45 we pulled out. Original. So after we paying back the original mortgage, was left with 45, and associated costs was left with 50,000. So rent, April to June, 4,785. Remortgage in June, pulled out 50. Rental income, 9,571. Net, 64,357.52. And what did we start with? 60,112. So property profits for 12 months is 64,357.52. Gosh, numbers. Minus property original investment was 60,112. This is what it looks like. So we ended up with 4,245.52, zero of our money in, and that's what we was left with. Can you see the difference to how you can do this based on low entry into, if you've got the money to do it, and you can make a profit of 4,245.52. And that's after paying costs, taking our money out, our original investment, and we still had 25% equity in the property and still receiving a rental income. Disclaimer here though, the figures are approximate and will only be finalized once it's calculated after the 12 months and verified by a chartered accountant or bookkeeper. So I always say I like this little gadget because it shows what we went through last year. People were buying toilet rolls for some strange reason. And there was a massive panic and it was an absolute mayhem. But I know people have fears. And fear one, I don't know what to do. Fear two, it's like, where am I going to find money? And fear three, there's too much to learn and I don't have the time. I was hesitant to put this next slide up, but I'm putting it up because he said it. And the reason why I was hesitant, because it's Boris Johnson. But anyway, Boris Johnson said, go out there and build, build, build. And he's put everything in our way as investors to do that. So Boris Johnson announced that the most radical reform of the planning systems since the Second World War, and that's huge. And it's easier to build better homes for people. So it's easier if you want to go into the commercial space, it's easier now for you to get into the development space, easier to get planning permission. There's so much ease on the plannings and the different caveats of commercial that it's going to make a lot of people very wealthy if you understand and if you go into this space. So not being financially educated in property can lead to losing money, investing in the wrong areas and properties, breaking the law, bad tenants, I've had a few of those, rents not stacking up, bad management of property, and not creating wealth but debt. Now, no one wants that. So that's why I always encourage, get financially educated. Simple fact to consider. Here's the fact, old habits stop people from getting what they want. And we all have old habits, and sometimes we put blockers in our own way. They keep you stuck though, and it happens on a subconscious level, and we don't even recognize it sometimes. And let's face it, dealing with the process can be tough, but the worst are the negative thoughts that go through our head and the doubts. When I said to you, you've got to look at your external and your internal, that's what I meant by it. Because thoughts go in our head and we don't know how to break that cycle. And we always have this doubt creeping in all the time. It comes in and we think, oh, can I do it? Am I capable of doing it? Well, I'm here to tell you, you're all capable. We are all capable of doing whatever we put our minds to. It's for you to want to do it. And ask yourself, do you really want this? It's okay. And it's totally normal. You know, find out what you really want. Are you awake at night? And to be honest, a lot of successful property investors have had these many thoughts. In fact, so did I. I remember laying awake at night wondering whether did I have what it took to actually get into this and build up this business? Did I have the time? Did I have the energy? To make matters worse, it seemed that other people's doubted me. And I always said that it's not about what other people think, it's what you think. Are you ready? Allow this to really engulf you. And you've got all this energy that's burning up negativity. Why don't you put that energy and apply it and channel that energy and get closer to your goal? Because worrying takes a lot of energy, right? And you know it can wear you out sometimes. So take that energy and do something else with it. So the great news is, if you feel like this, it actually is a good thing. You've got the strength that you need, and you know you can harness this in a better way. And there's nothing worse and nothing better than going towards your goal that you want to apply. But what action should you take? I'll share that in a few moments. Sometimes you feel like you're going 1 foot forward and 2 steps back. Again, another testimonial from my clients as well, who wanted to build out her portfolio, and she did. And it's all through to building it with us and allowing us to help her gain the knowledge that she needed. So I really want to share with you the Savvy Women Investors Academy. So if you're a newbie property investor and you aren't sure how to get started, or you're an experienced investor and want to expand, then the Savvy Women Academy can help you. The opportunity is knocking, but before I get into it, let's look at the facts. Every year, there's people just like you who are successfully learning to build a profitable property business. In fact, there are more people today than there has ever been. With all the information and the tools and resources out there, it's never been easier. Now, I didn't say it was easy. Remember, old habits aren't easy to change, but with what is available to us right now, the absolute best, you can make this happen, especially if you're committed to knowing how to build a profitable business, property business, because more importantly, will let you have more time and more money. And how would that feel to you? And think about how a community of women coming together as investors that come together with the knowledge and bringing all different kinds of different knowledge, working together and helping each other on that journey. How would that feel to you? And creating the money and putting that in to make your business grow as well. This is an opportunity we have for you today. And it's why I'm so passionate about helping women property investors. And this is the reason why I created this academy. Investing in yourself, in your education, there's nothing better, Sylvia Potter said. So would you allow me to share something with you so that when you leave this discussion, you have a lot of great information from me, right? Does everyone agree? Has the information been good so far? Excellent. But if you haven't built a property business before, you might feel a little overwhelmed. So what can you do about it? Is it okay if I show you a fast way and easier way to make this happen? But before I do that, I want to get some clarity here. Remember when I was going to share with you what my why was? Now, my why is about building a charity, but not just any charity. It's the Real Woman Me movement. And that movement is about helping women that has been in domestic violence situations, that have been homeless because of it, have had their kids taken away because of it. All kinds of things happen to women. I want to create homes that is going to be called safe havens. That's happening this year, where we will shelter women and protect them from these abusive relationships. And setting up this organization and this movement, because I want it across the world, is really about helping women. So when we make money from properties, we're putting it into our movement, into our charities, so that we can help. Because I was once in that situation myself. I was in an abusive relationship and I needed to go somewhere. I needed a home. And I went to an estate agent and he gave me a place, and this was in East London at the time. And I was being sheltered and I was being protected, but not every woman has that opportunity. And within the shelter, we're going to have social workers, we're going to have people intervening, people that will help them. But the essence of it is to help them build back their life. So giving them work, giving them opportunities, helping them build their own business. And then in turn, they pass it on to the next set of women that come through the safe haven. So that's my why. And that's going to be my why from now on, because my why before was my children. I have satisfied that why in some respects, despite my kids are still around me and I love them to pieces. But my personal why is this. This is my journey and this is what I want to do. This is another testimonial from Erica. I am exactly who I say I am. I'm very real with people. You ask me a question, I'm so straight with you. I don't believe beating around the bushes. And so my clients see me, they see me as that as well. And I love helping women to create their business. So if this is you, you know you want to build your property business, you know what you want to see more cash coming in, you know that other women are doing it, so why can't I? But you don't know where to start, or you know you need to find the right investments so that you can do it, or you're figuring out your strategy. You may be in debt currently, you may not have limit amount of funds that you need to invest. All of these things will not stop you from being a property investor. I can assure you of that. So welcome to the Savvy Women Investors Academy. Come inside and I'm going to share with you exactly what's inside this academy. So let's take a minute to talk about what's included in the Savvy Women Investors Academy and how it would really help you build out your property business easier and faster. The Savvy Women Business Investment Academy was specifically designed for women investors only. There's no men involved. And it is structured to break down in easy, sizable chunks, so you learn as you go. And it's a step-by-step process, and it'll show you where to focus on and how to focus on it, so that you can make these big strides. It's broken down into 6 modules, and you get 1 module every month, so you can easily implement it and get the benefits from it. So you're not in a hurry. And during that time, I'll walk you through the whole process of each module. So you know exactly how to build your property business without the frustrations, without the sidetracked and being the usual frustrated person that you might feel when you're trying to build something. So here's a quick overview. Module 0 is an introduction. It's about setting the tone for the rest of the modules. It further strengthens your knowledge in you building your property investment business, so you can get what your intentions are. Module 2 is about creating your foundation so that you know exactly where you are currently and where you want to be in your property success path, and what you'd learn and the path that you want to invest in, and how you can grow as a successful property owner. In module 2, it's about creating your personal plan so that you get a clear on your personal journey, so that you can build a successful business and have a clear understanding of what your personal mission is and why you're doing it. Module 3 is about creating your property strategy so that you can build your business on what your property strategy that suits you. Module 4 is about creating your financial plan so you can review your financial situation and see the best options to have your property business funded. So what revenue you are getting. And with this module, I will give you all funders, JV investors. You'll get a list of people that will potentially be your partners throughout your property business. Module 5 is about creating your legal knowledge. You'll get all the legal knowledge, and alongside each one of these modules, you'll have a specialized speaker to help you along the process as well. Module 6 is about creating and implementing your business. So you've done all these other modules, but it's not about just doing the modules and doing the work in the modules. It's about actually building your business step by step. So when it comes to module 6, you will have a business. You're gonna understand what your name of your business is gonna be, your strategy on your business, where you're getting money from to build out your business strategy. Everything will be there, so you build a profitable property business. This will be delivered through various means as well. And are you ready to really stop feeling overwhelmed and confused? Because we've got you. It's easy to follow step-by-step actionable lessons, and you'll be implementing. We've taken a lot of, you know, people know that there's a lot of courses and trainings out there. Heck, we know that as well. And even everything you can find is free on the internet. If you've got weeks and years to shuffle through all of that and the information and decipher what is good and what is not good. And we have created these lessons with you in mind and always you in mind, so that you can implement at your pace in your time and grow your business. This is not another course where it sits on the shelf and collects dust. This is an implementation course where you're actually doing it every week, when you're going to come back and say, Sapphire, I've done this, and this is what I put in my business. I've done this research. I found this property. And before the December, I even done a live example with a lady from our founders member who gave us some examples of properties, and I shared those so you could understand how to do your due diligence on the properties. It can be effortless to take up a course and effortless to learn, even effortless to read a book and network. However, none of these will make you successful. You may be shocked to hear this, but it's all about taking action and being aware that you want to take this action. And I also think it's supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be laborious. It's not supposed to be enjoyable. I want you to have fun through this process and feel I'm learning something here, but hey, I'm actually having fun learning. I'm taking it in my time, but Sapphire's teaching is really helping me motivate myself to move myself forward. We're going to have experts to help you grow your business as well. And we know why getting the support from experts is imperative to you building a successful business, because then you're able to ask them all the questions you can in relation to building your business and building it out to be a profitable business. We'll have virtual workshops, we'll have virtual networking. And when we get off on our lockdowns, I call it prison, but when we get out of that, we're going to allow ourselves to meet up, and I would like to have lunch, dinner, breakfast. We'll go on adventures together. I want to involve things that I know you're going to enjoy doing in building your business, so that you feel like I'm this businesswoman now, and I want you to be the boss lady that I know you can be. Don't be disrupting your own growth. You are a boss lady by just being here today, and I really respect you for doing that, and thank you again for attending. But I want to incorporate fun, and I always want to have fun. I want to do fun things with you. So we're going to have fun times together as well. You've got the Savvy Master courses as well. So there's courses that I want you to do outside of the modules, just so you can get sharp on the strategy that you're doing. The Savvy Networking is to have time networking, just asking general questions and get to know each other within the academy as well. Exclusive Facebook groups, Savvy Culture Me. This is where you're going to get your one-to-one with me, where we're going to go through the strategy that you've decided to do, and we're going to build out your strategy together, so that you're walking away from that knowing exactly what you're going to be doing for your business. And Savvy Targeting Prepared Workshops is, we're going to get laser focused. So if there's a group of you that was wanting to do service accommodations, we're going to have that little breakout where we're just talking about service accommodation to help you grow your business. So everyone's coming in with the different ideas, then I will be underneath that helping each one of you prepare for that. So that will be targeted, because we know we just don't do boring, and we just want to spoil you with the different perks and give you inspiration and encouragement. And yes, we'll have Facebook Lives, and for those who don't like social media, and I respect that, there'll be other ways. We'll be doing Zooms, we'll be doing whatever you want, Telegrams, and there's this new, what is it called, Clubhouse? We'll be creating a group on Clubhouse where you could just use your voice. So there's things that we'll be doing just so that you're all involved. I don't want anyone to ever feel left out. And if anyone knows me, you can tap into me. You know, you can get in touch with me, send us an email, send us whatever you need to do to communicate, we're there. And we just want those channels open to you. And plus, you're going to be in a community of women that are doing the same journey as you. And that's priceless. I didn't have that. I had the business links back in my day when I started out in business. And believe me, that was so male dominated. I was so scared to go in there sometimes, but I had to go on like with my big girl panties on and say, yep, I'm a boss lady too, you know? So it's about just, yeah, it's about just going out and say, I'm a force to be reckoned with. And I want to make sure that I'm building up your confidence to do that. It's not just about the property side. It's about you developing you as a woman and saying that what you can achieve and looking at yourself. There's going to be times where we're going to have speakers on that's just about your well-being. You know, I want to have spa days, so I'm going to invite you to spa days. I want to go out and have fun. It's not just about business. I want you to understand that when you're building a business, I want you to know there's different facets of a business and your life that is going to be crossed over so that you can actually balance, because it's all about balancing personal and business. And I'm going to demonstrate how you can do that. So as again, these are all the supports that you would have. You would have the support laying out your foundation, stage by stage, implementation days. You'll have, if you need to ask me a question, hey, I'm here. If you need to ask any of my team questions, we're there. Any specialized assistance, we will make referrals. We'll do what we need to do to get you to that graduation day where you said, I've graduated, this is my company name, and I'm boss lady of. And when I hear that, that's when I'll get out my pom-poms and all the sprinkles that go with it and give you the celebration that you deserve. So before we go any further, I need to really make this clear, because everyone thinks that everything's for them and it's not necessarily always for them. So I want to do the difference between if it's right for you or if it's wrong for you. The people that get the biggest benefits from the Savvy Women Investors Academy are those that have a can-do attitude and love being challenged and love to learn new things. Like Eva, I shared with you, who went to her first auction and bought land. Well, we both did on that day. It was so amazing that we both bought land. Then we had sat and had coffee and was sharing like our experience in the auction and buying this land. We went to view the land together and saw what we actually bought. You know, it was nice. It was a nice guy having a journey with her. And it was also nice sharing. There was a load of ladies and there's pictures about on the net of the women that I brought to that auction that day. And it was, we overtook the auction house. Even the men were in there, said, well, we've been dominated by women today. So it was really fun having that and sharing that moment with her. And she's become dear to my heart as well. I, you know, absolutely adore Eva. And if you're on here, Eva, I love you. You know, but she not only was my client, she's become a friend. And I really, you know, got to know her and she's got to know me as well. So a good plan always comes together. So if you are a person like Eva and want to do it, you know, get yourself involved, know that you want to build out your business and trust yourself to do that and feel that you could come and ask any questions that you feel, then this is right for you. And who shouldn't join? Before we go any further, let's just take an objective look at the Savvy Women Academy here. Who will not do well with this material? It's not for everyone that wants to kind of check it out. You cannot kind of check out a profitable property business. So it's not for you. And we are getting these types of results, taking commitment to succeed. If you're not committed to it, you know, it's like the analogy I use. If you wanted to fly with a pilot who kind of knew module fly, would you want to fly with him? You can't have that kind of attitude. Or would you rather have someone that was totally skilled and committed to mastering the necessary skills that they needed? So Savvy Women Academy is for people who are committed to doing what it takes to build their business. It is for the intention of having a good attitude towards what you're doing. And if you've not got a good attitude towards building your best business, this is not for you. So you must be wondering, I've done all of this time with you and I really appreciate you taking out your Sunday evening to spend with me. This is the best Sunday evening I've had in a long time. So how can you get started? So today I have an offer for you all. So you can get started today and the price is for 147 today and then 140 monthly payments thereafter. If you pay in full today, you have paid 1,470 to pay in full. The investment is to make you progress in the life you want. You've got to break out of your old habits. The way you're going to do this by investing in this program. I'll walk you through the entire process step by step so that you can build your property business. If you follow what I show you, you will make progress. That I definitely can guarantee. So to get started today, you can join now. This is the link you can go to. And I think Celine's put the link in the group. But it doesn't stop there. I like giving away. I've told you I love giving things. So here's some more goodies. We have the Savvy Women bonuses. How else are you going to be supported through this? I've just added some brand new extras which are designed to make it easy for you to get the results. And if you've already joined, ladies, you have this in your membership hub already. I'm all about helping you build a profitable property business, and I'm determined to make this as simple as possible. I've seen where people get stuck, and I've developed these bonuses to specifically answer the challenges and the roadblocks that you might encounter. The first one is called the Savvy Agency Documents. If you're struggling to get all your legal paperwork together and onboarding tenants or getting tenants references or anything like that, this bonus would really do you a justice, because it's going to be packed with over 100 and odd documents, legal documents that have been signed off by solicitors that you can use in your business. All you have to do is tailor it to your and put your company name on it. These documents will help you to stop constantly searching all over the net and getting frustrated to find where you get all your tenancy agreements, where you get your ins and outs, your inventories and everything else. You get access to these as soon as you complete the registration. Bonus 2, you're getting this great deal analysis. Now, a lot of women property investors know how to make money because they work out the deal analysis. I've added this bonus for HMO, commercial projects, cash flow, deal analysis, everything is in here. So you get a wealth of Excel sheets that works out the calculations. All you have to do is plug in the figures. Bonus 3, the Profit Properties and Pensions books. And finally, you're going to get this book, and it's hundreds of pages on here. And it's got links to portals, information, telephone scripts to agencies, template letters to direct to vendor, leaflet, documents, how to create and generate deals, legal documents again, and much, much more. So you'll get all of these free bonuses, which was designed with you in mind, and have the extra help and beyond already what we're going to give you in the academy. Because we know how challenging it can be sometimes. But I haven't stopped there. I've also given you property spreadsheets. I've given you everything you need for HMO, everything that you need for service accommodation. Any strategy that you have is in your property spreadsheets. You have all the fire regulations, anything that you could think of to build out your strategy. I have included this for you. Again, the price is a small investment today, and it's for 147. Here's the joining link. So here's what you're going to get. Here's what you're going to get. All the workbooks and help sheets, 0 to 6, live session webinars, recordings step-by-step for all lessons, VIP Facebook group, membership site only for members. You're going to have a buddy system, so you could buddy up when we could do JVs for cash flow purposes. The Sway community and support, one-to-one brainstorming sessions with moi. Access to our power team, all communication channels, email, text, WhatsApp, Messenger, Telegram. That's a value of 8,450. And you'll get the Savvy bonuses, as just previously said, with the 2 extras, property sheets additional, and that's a value of 6,500. But as you know, as I said, I'm a lady of integrity. So I want to do a guarantee for you today. And it's about speaking of being intentional. I'm intentionally including a 14-day money-back guarantee. This program has worked for hundreds of people with my coaching hat on, and I know it will work for you too. But I also know that there's a lot of that, oh, it's too good to be true scenarios flying out there, promotions online, and I get that. I'm with you on that myself. So I need you to carefully choose. So I've offered this guarantee. That's why this guarantee is included. So try the Savvy Women Investors Academy. If it's nothing that, anything that I've said done that I didn't promise, that I promised you and I did not deliver, 14 days, ask for a refund and I'll be happy to give it to you. It's a 14-day rock solid guarantee. Sign up today, and if you don't like it, just let me know, and I'll give you your money back. Because we only want people that are there, that are truly wanting to build out their property business. But I know I've never failed anyone yet, and I don't give up on people. I'm always there, and it's for you. If you do everything I say, I can promise you, you will have a successful business. Again, here is what you'll be getting. So why buy now? The registration period is closing on the 14th of January at 11:59 precisely. We do this because we want to cater for new members coming through. It's like a college class. You open the registration, when they register, then once the class starts, it's closed. I don't want people filtering in all the time because it would be distracting, and I want to pay attention to you. I want my energy to be focused on yourself. So that's why I said there's a limited time for you to sign up for the program. Here's the price again. Now, as I said, it's a cheap start. If in 14 days you feel, oh, well, before 14 days, I don't want it, then you'll get a refund. It's £147 to start tonight. And if you want to pay in full for the year, it's 1,470, and you're paying in full for the year. Your current reality, as you look to make a decision, just know this: if you're feeling overwhelmed as a newbie, stuck on choosing the right strategy, or struggling to expand, this is absolutely normal. For most of us, it's the biggest challenge ever, and trying to manage multiple tasks that you are responsible for. Life always gets in the way, and there's always a competition for when you want your time to be doing something else. But we want to balance that out for you and want to help you on that journey. And if you're trying to build out as a property investor that's already there, we're there to support that journey as well, and showing you different strategies and different ways that you can actually implement your business. Ask yourself this: what is important to your life right now? What do you want to achieve in the months ahead? Everything like this is your desired reality. This is where we are now, right now, and these could be your goals: funding your children's education, getting out of debt, saving money, being financially independent, owning your own business. Are you looking for extra income? Join me and register for the Savvy Women Investors Academy. I'll be happy to have you on board. I'm trying to run. My final thoughts: just by learning what we've covered today, you're a step closer to your ultimate goal. We want you to flourish, and we want you to know that we're so glad that you are here today, because it means that you'll have more knowledge and time to have fun with you and your family. And that's what really matters. It isn't easy seeing how everything fits. And most importantly, it doesn't matter where you are, it's where you want to be. And I really want to be part of your journey. So this is all about getting clarity and a way to move your goals easier and faster. It has been a jam-packed webinar, and I really appreciate you giving up your time. So make sure you review your notes. Make sure you review your notes, and then we can really get things moving forward. If you've got any questions, I'm here to answer them. Thank you so much for listening. I'd love your feedback on this presentation, so please feel free to share it in our Facebook pages, our handles for Twitter and Instagram. And now's the time for you to really plug into my head. Do you have any questions for me? And just quickly, these are our contact details, so I'll leave those on screen. I'm going to stop sharing so you can ask away. I'm sure Celine's collected 1,000 questions. But thank you, ladies, for being part of this webinar tonight. I really appreciated it. Any questions?
Thank you, Sapphire.
No.
Hold on, just turn on the thing. No, I can still hear myself.
All right. Let's stop co-hosting for a minute. And then you can take yourself off co-host.
Oh, okay. I don't know how to.
All right. Hang on.
Or if I do, I'll stop
Hang on.
recording.
Yep.
Just turn on your speakers. You turn on your speakers and I'll put mine out loud.
Can everyone hear me? Can you just give me a wave if you can hear? Oh, good. Okay. Thought it was my system. I've just taken it off so I can hear. Right. Thank you, ladies, and thank you, Sapphire. We do have a few questions. I'm not sure we're going to get through all of them, but I'm going to start off with the first few. So Carol asks, does the strategies, I hate that word, strategies depend on the capital you have? So you know where you was talking about different strategies. Does it depend on how much startup capital you have or how much money you have available to you? Or can you kind of pick what's best for you and make it work?
Can everyone hear me? Yeah?
Yeah, they can.
Yeah, it is. There's two ways of looking at this. You can look at it as what capital you do have and build your strategy out from that. Or you can look at a strategy that you want to do, and then we'll work out the money for that strategy for you. Does that make sense? Because we're all about, I know how to find the financing for each person's strategy, whether you're coming in with money or not. And I remember previously sharing that it's about, you can either share it on a sweat equity level, or we can look at doing it JVs, or looking at finance companies who actually invest in investors when it comes to finding a deal.
And also, Carol asks, how do you find the best location?
That's basically deciding on what area you actually want to invest in. So I've got a spread portfolio. My portfolio starts from London, then Liverpool. So you've got to kind of decide what is my best location for me, because don't forget, travel will come into play with that. Cost of whether you're going to get a managing agent to look after it, and where's the best property for your strategy. So for instance, I've done a HMO in Liverpool. That was the best location where I chose for that HMO, and it works. So we're still getting revenue from the property. So it does depend on where you want to be and where you want to start your strategy, your building out your property business.
Okay, thank you. Samantha asks, where are the best places to find it, fix it, and sell it properties?
As in going on searching on the internet. Now you can use loads of portals on there, like your Zooplas, your Rightmoves, your On the Market, your Craigslist, all of those kind of things you can look at. But also use social media as a portal as well. And if within the academy, we've actually shared links, and we've got to have a specialized speaker on there that specializes in finding properties for our women as well. He's got a platform, and he will show you exactly how to use it as well. But generally, you can go on the social media, create your business account on there. Again, we'll show you that through the academy, how to do that, and market yourself as your specialist. So if you was a HMO specialist or rent-to-rent specialist or a control, whatever you are, if you market yourself like that and say, I'm looking for these types of properties, people can generally will bring properties like that to you. Or you can hire someone or JV with a sourcer as well.
Thank you. That's really helpful. Thanks very much.
You're welcome.
Charlene asks, what is the turnaround time for flipping properties, or average turnaround time? I did give a little sneak and say it depends on, you know, the extent. So for instance, if it's just superficial, need a bit of paint and carpet, that's going to be a lot quicker if it needs compared to if it needs a full fit out.
And it also depends on your team. Because if you're project managing something, if you've got a good building team and you said, look, I need this turned around within 8 weeks, that building crew can turn around a property in 8 weeks. And that means a full kitchen refurb, bathroom refurb. It depends on what you are doing. But generally, we could turn around a property in 8 weeks.
And she also asks, how do you generate the money to start?
If you're coming from a place that you've not got any money, then that is, you're looking at then to build up a service, being a service provider. So you could be a sourcer, you could be do rent to rent, strategy, you can do any controlled property strategy that doesn't require, it does require some element of money, or you can look to JV with someone where you're fantastic at finding things, finding the property deals, doing the numbers on the property deals and say, hey, I've got this property deal and you've got the money, let's get together. And that's why I built the community as it is, because there's going to be times where there's investors that's got the money, don't have the time. And there's a lot of those. And we've worked with a lot of those as well. And we'll show you how to get those as well for yourselves.
Susan asks, explain what capital gains tax is. I did put a little blurb in the chat.
It's after when you sold a property. That's as simple as I could put it. You pay that capital gains tax on the profit that you've made from the property, minus the renovation costs, minus or associated costs before it. Then the capital gains, you've got an allowance that you can have, and then it's minus that, and that's what you're paying on.
Joyce has asked, how do you know what type of tenants you want?
Joyce, I believe you're part of the academy, so you will have exactly the blueprint of what kind of tenants, but in simple forms. If you like people, as I keep on referring to, because not everybody, if you like handling multiple of people, then you're fine with any strategy really. If you're a person that wants hands off, so you just want to rent out your property without having much, just paying the mortgage, paying the insurances and everything, then you're single lets, because all you're doing is renting that to one family and they're looking after the bills and everything else. If you like students, then you know it's going to be a high turnaround, because there's only a certain time that students do rent out properties. So you've got to keep on looking at those, what kind of would suit you alongside the strategy you want to build out.
Joyce also asked, but I think you kind of touched upon it by saying she's in the academy already. Great to have her. It says, how exactly do you find strategy? Thank you. That's best for you, and how do you know where to start? Which I guess, because
there's loads of questions that I ask within the academy that you break down. You literally have to answer them and be honest to yourself, because as I said, you've got to look at, what money do I have? All right, I don't have any money, but I like people, and I'm a good marketer, and I can look after things. So you're going down, I'm already telling you, you're going down the route of being somebody who can do rent to service accommodation, or rent to HMO, sorry. So I know already that you can, and when we get on our strategy, I will say to you, and I'll make the suggestions in which the strategy that it would be best suited to you, based on your personal circumstances, not anybody else's. And then we're going to work it out that where you're going to make your money. So it's not about just doing something on a small scale. I'm about being big and thinking big. And when you're building out your strategy, you've got to understand, what is it going to be suited to me? How is it going to be profitable to me later on? What do I need, all those stepping blocks that I need to get to buy my own individual property? So we'll work that all out as well.
Natalie asked 2 questions. Natalie, if you don't mind, one of your questions was, so you buy houses for HMO and not rent it from landlords. Do you want to come off mute and just explain what you meant by that question?
Hi. Sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Right. Yeah. I was just saying that is your strategy, I mean, it could be anybody's strategy really. It depends on the person, I guess, from what you're saying. I was just thinking, were you saying to do a HMO, it's best to own your own property rather than do it through a landlord? Because I was going to do it through a landlord, like, because of the no money down. That was it. That's the question. It was like, do you buy a house and then do HMO, or you know, is it okay to just have a landlord and do HMO that way?
Yeah, I'm trying to break this question down into 2 parts. Is this with somebody that's got money, Natalie?
I think she's talking about rent to rent, because she said,
right,
like the landlord gives you the property and then you turn that into a HMO.
Right. So when you turn it, any properties that you're doing on a controlled strategy, you have to get permission from the landlord in the first instance, whether you can change its use into a HMO. Because when they sign a document, their insurance has got to be covered. So you've got to have the right insurance to cover a HMO. There's got to be regulated doors, fire doors, alarms, all systems have to be in there. You have to get your licenses for a HMO. So it's not just as straightforward as getting someone's property and saying, I'm going to switch it into a HMO. You have to have their permission. And sometimes as well, you have to have permission if it's not an investment property from the lenders as well. You cannot just go out there and just turn any property into what you want to turn it into. You've got to make sure that the law is applied here.
So it seems like it's probably better to have your own property and then turn that into an HMO.
No, I'm not saying that. There's so many landlords out there that will just throw their properties at you and support you on whatever you're doing because they're getting their money for the property. Don't forget they've got the benefit of helping you get what you want because you're guaranteeing them their rent every month.
All right. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also
Thank
asks,
you.
Are auctions good places to find properties to flip?
Yes.
Good. Okay. Yeah, that's an easy question. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Carol also asks, oh, sorry. So in regards to, buying properties on sin, she's basically saying, even in these current times, obviously, with everything on lockdown, I know estate agents, obviously, are still operational, but buying properties on sin, is that a thing now because of what's going on with COVID and restrictions?
There's a lot of agencies that still allow you to view properties with appointments only. So you can still go out there and view properties.
And Joyce had another question, apologies. You mentioned about bridging when you were talking about the Liverpool property, and you mentioned about bridging it or having cash. What did you mean by that? What did you mean by bridging?
Bridging finance is where you buy a property so you're purchasing it for cash, but it's through a bridging finance. They charge you a percentage, it's a high percentage other than a mortgage, but it's easier to buy on a bridge with some properties, especially when it comes to the construction of some developments that you're going to buy. It could be unusual property structure, so you have to get a bridge, or you could have a property that hasn't got a kitchen in it. Lenders will not lend you money on properties that ain't got kitchens or bathrooms. So at that point, you might need a bridger to bridge the deal for you. That's simply what it means. Once you have that bridge, then you can purchase the property, put the kitchen and bathroom in, and then get it refinanced onto a mortgage. Because it's cheaper. It's more expensive doing it on a bridge finance than it is on a mortgage.
Elizabeth asks, where would you recommend looking for tradespeople who are reliable and cost effective?
Depends on the area that you're going into. You always get a free man quote. So you'll go onto property portals, what am I trying to say? Builders portals, like Checker Trade or things like that. Get free quotes for the area that you're in. Make them come round, check out their insurance, their references and things like that for work to be carried out. And I must say this, it's not about getting it cheap. That's what you're not trying to do. Do not try to cheap just because the price is high. Sometimes when you get a cheap builder, he could be working for somebody else and then comes and does your work ad hoc. So they will start off really good in the first week, stripping everything out. You've already handed over money, and I'll always talk about do not give your money up front at all. Make sure they invoice you, make sure that it goes through your bank so you can have recourse on anything that could potentially go wrong. But yeah, interview them like you'd interview anybody. So you get free builders, interview them, get them to do their quotes. And if someone's just sending you a quote through WhatsApp or something like that, no.
As Emily just said, our resident paint and decorator, she said cheap can be expensive.
Absolutely. Agree with you, Emily. Thanks for sharing that.
Carol asks, is rent to service accommodation the right time given the current climate?
As I said, there's no... All right, let me strip out these negative thoughts from everybody. There's never been a better time to get into property investment. Let me just put that straight out there. And the reason why I say that, even though we're in a lockdown, even though this country's whatever, it's never been a better time for any strategy. When you're looking at service accommodation, for instance, people still want to go out and come away from their own home. In the summer, so many people left their home and stayed in other people's houses because they just needed a break from their own house. So if to answer your question, yes, any time, doesn't matter whether we're in this current climate or not, property strategies work because there's other people that want it. You're creating a service that other people want and need. And every service is a needed service. So we'll always review statistics, where current situations is lying with everything, and making sure that you're up on your knowledge when it comes to that as well.
I will just add to that, as my day job is housing options, so I deal with homeless people as well as my day job. And even I had clients the other day saying, look, my family want me out because of they have to still work, they're key workers, but they don't want them in the house because they're vulnerable. So even those clients were looking at things like Airbnb to try and get places in the short term, because they don't want to, sign a contract for 12 months when, although who knows when this is going to be over, but in 3 months' time, their family could say, oh, got my vaccination now, everything's okay, you can come back. So people are looking for slightly shorter term accommodation to help them. And I just, as I said, I had a client just the other day that I point them in the right direction for a few properties that they could look at to just house themselves in a short term. So I would say definitely there are a lot of people like that still looking for accommodation to house themselves in a short term. I've got a question from Susan. She said, should you buy from motivated sellers?
Yes, that's how I built my business.
There we go.
And let me just expand on that. Motivated sellers are going to be the thing of this year. 2021 is going to be motivated sellers, and it's not something to be cheering about, but the situation and circumstances which we find ourselves in, a lot of people cannot afford their mortgages, and they can then become your tenants as opposed to you evicting them from that property. So yes, you can buy from them and still have them housed in your property.
And what exactly is motivated sellers?
Motivated sellers are people that are going through divorces and need to sell quickly. People that have just lost someone, need to sell a property quick. Someone who's the bank is repossessing their property, need to sell it quick. Those are motivated sellers. But we do have a list of motivated sellers and how to approach them kindly, with a kind heart, not just going in there, I want to buy your property.
Janice asks, how much time is required roughly for the course?
I would say your workbooks will get released, so you can dedicate, each module is for a month, so I would say hour a week, hour and a half a week. Will be live, so you'll be able to ask questions. But I tell you what will happen, you will get so into it and you'll be saying, I'm really enjoying this, that it's your time. Remember, I want you to work at your pace. You're not working at Great Knox Speed Sapphire, you're working at your pace. And that's what I want people to be mindful of. Don't feel that you need to be keeping up with everybody else that's in the community. You don't. This is your business. So you work your business how you want to work your business.
I just wanted to point out something Emily said in the chat, which is very true. If you like people and have a spare room, Airbnb is also awesome for bringing in some spare cash.
Absolutely.
And again, that could be a way that you could start funding
your business. That's
so
right.
It all makes sense. Thank you, Natalie. We're loving this too. That's it. I've got no other questions unless anyone has anything burning to ask.
Has anyone got any other questions? Again, I'm going to put the link in the group, so anyone would like to join us in the academy, I'd really like to welcome you on board. It's going to be a blessed year this year, and you'll get all the tools and the help that you need. Susan, if you've got a question, please feel free to ask.
Just checking that the question about motivated sellers, has it been answered? Because I didn't hear it. Oh, sorry, I missed it.
You will have the because you're in the academy, Susan, you're going to have the plethora of information on motivated sellers. So hang tight and you'll have that answered in full and be able to implement.
Thank you.
But for those who don't know what motivated sellers is, as I previously just explained, it's all in about finding people that, and you find these people, let me explain how you find these people. A motivated seller could be as well on, say if I went on Zoopla and I went on to the property that's been on the market for the longest. Now, if a property has been on the market for the longest, there's something wrong why that property is on the market for so long. Could it need decorating and people are viewing it thinking that's too much work? Well, that to me then becomes a motivated seller because he's had it on the market for so long. And now I can go in there and say, right, I can now get a discount on this because I'm going to offer him a price that he can't refuse because at the end of the day, he's not being able to sell it. But I'd want to view the property to find out what the reason is that he couldn't sell that property and then come from that angle.
Carol asks, when is the academy open to everyone?
On the 18th.
And that's it. I think that's all.
18th of January, the Academy will be opening its doors. We'll have a launch party on the 18th. I'll be walking you through the membership site where you can find everything, what you'll be doing. Members already will have their login details once you sign up, and everything will be there for you to actually really get you moving forward. Oh, 2 days before your birthday, oh, we'll have to celebrate double then. Susan, well done. Yeah, so we'll be definitely looking at that. I'd really love you to share on our social medias what you've learned today, if it's helped you, be a little bit more confident. But most of it, I really would love you to join us in the Academy. And I want to see you lot grow. The offer is open until Thursday, 11:59. So if you'd like to join us then, I've just put the link in there. If there's any more questions that you'd like to ask, please feel free to ask now. And doesn't matter how simple the question may seem, some people get nervous about asking questions. So I'm open to hearing anything.
I've also put the email address, but I'll put it in again just in case anybody thinks of any questions later on. Excuse me.
Yes, Maria, question.
Hi, Sapphire.
Hiya.
How did you deal with your problem tenants?
Short and sweet answer, kick them out. But no. No, I'm having fun and games. I had to actually go through court. But I'm a woman of paperwork, and I have always evidence everything that I do. And that's what I want people to understand. When you're doing anything, make sure you can back what you are saying, so that when any tenant or anybody comes at you, you can say, actually, I had received this email, or actually, I've got the bank statements. Because the government switched where they will pay the tenants their rent, money that she could have to go and buy. And the reason why I keep on using drug tenants, because she was a junkie. I didn't know it at the time. She had 4 children. I thought she was a lovely girl and really liked her. Allowed her in one of my properties, and she no, anyway. So I had all the evidence that she was using the money each week to facilitate her own personal needs instead of paying the rent. I had the evidence of the bank statements to when she last paid and that she stopped paying. I had evidence that I contacted the local authorities to inform them of this the moment it started to happen. And I also had my mortgage lenders actually support me. I was paying my mortgage, but I wanted them to say what my mortgage, how it would affect me if my rent is not paid for that property. And they supported me and given me a letter for that, because they knew they were getting their money anyway, because the mortgage lenders don't want to hear sob stories. But I wanted them to support me in the event that I couldn't pay that rent, how would it affect me? And they did. And I went with the correct applications, because make sure you have the correct applications to evict your tenants. And make sure you have the correct applications. Once you have the correct applications, submit that to the courts, because if it's not the right one, it will get thrown out of court. So make sure you have that right application. And then the judge just literally stamped it. I think he read the first 10 lines. I was quite shocked at how quickly he just said, yep, you've got it. And evicted.
I will interject there as well, saying a lot of people obviously go through estate agents, managing agents and stuff, don't always believe they know the correct paperwork. Being in housing for the last 8 years, I've seen so many estate agents, even companies that say we can get the paperwork done for you, make silly little mistakes that with the news to say, well, actually, you can't evict this person because you've not done it right. And it could be something as small as you send the paperwork through the post, but you're not allowing for a few days for the letter to get there to say this is when your Section 21 is going to start and end. That could be just the smallest thing that takes a judge to look at it and throw it straight out. And then you're going back to square one, which previously was 2 months for Section 21. It then went to 3 months because of COVID. And at the moment, it's 6 months. Yeah, 6 months. So basically, there's no point serving Section 21 until at least March.
And you should know as well, they're trying to actually scrap Section 21.
Yes, they are.
I was in a consultation the other day and they're trying to get rid of Section 21. So as again, I always keep up my knowledge on what's happening, because it will benefit each one of you with the knowledge that I impart, so you know exactly where you are and what you need to do. If there's no further questions, ladies, I would like to say thank you so much for attending tonight's webinar. I really appreciate your time on this Sunday. And I would just like to close and say, have a lovely day. I'd love to see you inside of the Academy. And I'll just do a last round. If there's any more questions, it's now time to speak. Or we'll be, forever hold your peace, because we'll be signing off now. Question for you, Celine, does work? All right, go on. Let's go.
Yes, I would say it's because I have to keep up, just like Sapphire, my mom, had mentioned. I have to keep up with all the laws. I have to keep up with how to issue a Section 21, because we need to know if a client comes up to me and says, got Section 21, I need to know how to basically spot that it's wrong. My kind of job is to not help landlords, basically, if I'm completely honest, and always protect the council and the clients. So yeah, I think working in the council has given me a really good in-depth knowledge of how to do it. But I think it works both ways, because just because, you know, I work for the council, I can't pretend that I've not whispered in landlords' ears to tell them how to do it properly, because if someone's got 15,000, oh no, actually that's actually quite good. I've seen £45,000 rent arrears. I don't think that's right either, you know. So I do encourage landlords in situations like that to get rent directly to them. It might not mean, you know, they're going to get their full 45,000 back, but at least until they can get them out of court, getting them out of their property legally, they're getting the money coming to them. So yeah, just long story short, it's given me such an advantage. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. If there's no more questions, lady, I'd like to bid you a wonderful rest of your evening. Thank you again for joining us. And for those who haven't joined, I'd love to see you on the inside. And